Okay, I just started doing these. Just finished for the day now. They are the Bull Generals for Journey Wrath of Demons. I'm giving them a sort of chestnut horse flesh sort of skin tone. Um, Obviously, they're bulls, so I presume that's a pretty good colour. And all the pictures I've seen on from Marrow and whatnot have sort of had that sort of fleshy sort of colour. Obviously, at the moment, it's just all underpainting. There's nothing magnificent to see. The helmets, I'm doing bronze. The horns will be horns. I'm putting bronze edging on the armor plates, so hence the brown. And I'll follow through with the blue theme for all the cloth, just to give it that massive contrast. But and the hammers I'm doing, they're stone, so I'll paint them stone, big stone hammers. So look cool. Right, so that's them. I've got a couple of questions about this stand. This was made for me on a special order by Mr. Super Chippy, who is actually a carpenter, so he just knocked these together out of some bits of scrap. But basically, it's just I've got two sizes. I've got 4s and 8s. The reason I got 4s and 8s is because usually on Napoleonic command stands there's 4s, or on a cannon crew there'll be 4, and an 8 is usually, because of the Prussians, is usually a base, so there's 8 figs on a base. Hence why I got enough to do a battalion. But this is softwood, hole drilled, and a bit of dowel. They're quite good. They're easy to handle. I've been asked about what do I stick the miniatures on with. Well, I use either stick wood adhesive. The only problem with using the wood adhesive is it's a bit too sticky for stuff that's smaller. So if you've got a small size, if the base is smaller than that diameter, or like with the Napoleonics, I just put the metal base straight on it. I just put a little dab of super glue on, and that's super glue is quite brittle if you push it, so they do tend to lever off. But yeah, that's all. It's just a piece of wood with some holes in, and thing. People have asked about the length of them. I think they're a bit too long. Well, it's horses for courses, really. I quite like having the whole thing in my hand like that, turning it round. I find paint pots, I spin over sometimes with paint pots. I do use paint pots and smaller stuffs and corks and all sorts of things, but for 28mm Napoleonic models, which is what I mainly paint, these come in dead useful. Anyway, so enough waffle about that. I promised I'd mention it in the next update, so this is the next update. So I've mentioned it. Anyway, on with the question. Okay, today's question is that guy. I don't have any that guy stories anymore. I've run out over the last few years of telling that guy stories. What I think the only thing that I can sort of talk about that bears any sort of relevance to the question is my experience in the Games Workshop store these days is quite amusing because I walk in and I don't exactly look like I do what I do. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got a black t-shirt on with hair down to my waist anymore because all my hair, well, my wife made me cut all my hair off and it went grey anyway. That's what 25 years of marriage does to you. But I like going in and they come up to me and, with the sort of, have you got a list? Are you in for your grandson and all that sort of stuff? And obviously the ones that do this are the ones that actually don't know me. Because in Manchester, a couple of the staff, well, especially the manager, I'd known him for such a long time, and he was a customer when I worked for Games Workshop. So not when he was a Manchester customer. I worked in Leeds, but anyway. So it's always amusing. It amuses me no end. And you hear them and they come babbling on, have you got a list and everything, and I think to myself, God. And I sort of have to go through the whole rigmarole saying, no, I don't. These days, though, I do, right? I make a point of having a list. And I'll say, yeah, I need this. But it always falls down when the guy that runs the store shouts across to me,
how are you getting on and everything, and then we end up in a very long-winded conversation about you know, Skaven or whatever. And it just amuses me no end. But I suppose in some respects, then in that case, when me and like the old timers who have been there for a long time meet up in Games Workshop or something, we become that guy in as much that we've been doing it for so long. But I don't really have any of that guy stories. Not really fitting to the question, I suppose. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm putting forward as my pearl of wisdom for this particular episode. So there you go. That's my tale. All right. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.